In a world saturated with electromagnetic noise, how do we find what matters? Welcome to the CFAR algorithm, where science meets signal processing to separate truth from chaos. Every radar system faces a fundamental challenge. When we transmit a pulse into the environment, it doesn't just bounce off our target. The signal scatters across mountains, buildings, weather systems, creating a chaotic mix of reflections. Our radar receives everything, the target we want, plus countless unwanted echoes called clutter. This is the physics of detection, and it's messy. Let's visualize what the radar actually sees. This graph shows the raw amplitude data over time and range. Notice the chaotic fluctuations. This is thermal noise combined with environmental clutter. The signal jumps unpredictably between values, creating a noisy floor that obscures everything. In this sea of randomness, how can we possibly detect a target? Traditional fixed thresholds fail because the noise level constantly changes. Now observe this scenario carefully. Buried somewhere in this noisy signal is an actual target return. Can you spot it? There's a slight elevation around this position, but is it real or just another noise spike? Without a sophisticated algorithm, we're essentially guessing. We need a method that can automatically adapt to local conditions and make intelligent detection decisions. This is exactly why CFAR was invented. Enter CFAR, constant false alarm rate. This elegant algorithm solves our detection problem through three key innovations. First, an adaptive threshold that adjusts to local noise conditions. Second, local noise estimation that continuously measures the environment. And third, maintaining a constant false alarm rate regardless of changing conditions. CFAR doesn't fight the noise, it learns from it. The heart of CFAR is the sliding window mechanism. Imagine a scanner moving across your radar data, cell by cell. This window has a specific structure. Reference cells in cyan measure the local noise level, guard cells in pink prevent target energy from contaminating our estimate, and the cell under test in orange, this is what we're evaluating. As the window slides across the data, it processes each position independently, adapting to whatever it finds. Let's examine how we compute the local noise level. The reference cells, also called training cells, contain samples of the surrounding environment. We extract their values, 1.2, 1.5, 1.1, and so on. These flow into our averaging processor. We sum all reference cell values and divide by the count. The result, 1.35 in this example, represents our estimate of the local noise floor. This number becomes the foundation for our detection threshold. But why do we need guard cells? Consider what happens when a strong target is present. The target's energy doesn't exist in just one cell, it spreads across neighboring cells due to the radar's range resolution. Without guard cells, this spillover would contaminate our reference cells, artificially raising our noise estimate. The guard cells create a protective buffer, excluding the target's energy from our calculation. This ensures our noise estimate remains clean and accurate, using only the blue reference regions. Now we calculate the detection threshold. Step 1, we have our noise estimate Z, computed from the average of reference cells. Step 2, we introduce alpha, the scale factor. This critical parameter controls our false alarm rate. We'll explore this more later. The threshold equation is beautifully simple, T equals alpha times Z. This adaptive threshold rises and falls with the local noise level, which is why CFAR works in constantly changing environments. The detection decision is straightforward. We compare the cell under test value against our computed threshold. If the cut value exceeds the threshold, we declare target detected. The beauty of this approach is its adaptability. The threshold isn't fixed, it adjusts based on local conditions. In quiet environments, it's lower. In noisy environments, it rises. This is how CFAR maintains consistent performance across diverse scenarios. Watch CFAR in action on real data. Here we have a signal containing noise and two targets at different ranges. Notice how the adaptive threshold, shown in pink, follows the general noise level but rises slightly in regions of higher activity. When our sliding window encounters the first target, the cut value significantly exceeds the local threshold detection. The same happens at the second target location. Meanwhile, random noise spikes don't trigger false alarms because the threshold adapts accordingly. Let's visualize this in 3 dimensions, the range Doppler map. Range along one axis, Doppler frequency representing target velocity along another, and amplitude in the vertical dimension. The blue surface represents our noise floor, it undulates with environmental variations. The pink plane cutting through this space is our adaptive threshold surface. Notice the 2 green spheres, these are our detected targets, peaks that rise above the threshold plane. This 3D perspective reveals why CFAR is so powerful, it creates a dynamic detection landscape. The alpha parameter is your tuning knob for system performance. The relationship is exponential, probability of false alarm equals e to the negative alpha. Watch what happens as we adjust alpha. At high values like 10, we get very few false alarms, the threshold is high and conservative. But lower alpha to 2.5, and suddenly we're triggering on noise spikes constantly. The sweet spot? Usually between 3 and 4, balancing detection sensitivity against false alarm control. This is the fundamental trade-off in radar detection. CFAR performance is measured through 4 key metrics. Probability of detection, how often we correctly identify real targets. Probability of false alarm, how often we incorrectly flag noise as targets. Signal-to-noise ratio, the minimum SNR required for reliable detection. And CFAR loss, the performance penalty compared to optimal detection with perfect noise knowledge. Understanding these metrics allows radar engineers to optimize system performance for specific mission requirements. The receiver operating characteristic curve visualizes this trade-off. The diagonal line represents random guessing, a coin flip. Any detector worth using must perform better than this. As signal-to-noise ratio increases from low to medium to high, our ROC curve bows toward the ideal upper left corner. The operating point on this curve represents our chosen threshold setting. Slide it up, fewer false alarms but we might miss targets. Slide it down, better detection but more false alarms. The knee of the curve represents the optimal balance. CFAR isn't a single algorithm, it's a family of variants optimized for different scenarios. CA-CFAR, cell averaging, simply averages all reference cells, fast and effective in uniform noise. GO-CFAR, greatest of, takes the maximum of leading and trailing windows, excellent when targets might be nearby. CA-CFAR, smallest of, uses the minimum, ideal for clutter edges. And OS-CFAR, ordered statistic, uses the KTH ordered value like the median, robust against outliers and interference. Clutter edges present a unique challenge. Observe this scenario where noise levels abruptly transition from low to high, perhaps moving from C clutter to land clutter. When our detection window spans both regions, standard CA-CFAR struggles. The averaged noise estimate falls between the 2 levels, causing problems on both sides. Too sensitive in the low clutter region, too conservative in the high clutter region. This is precisely why variants like GO-CFAR and OS-CFAR exist, they handle these transitions more gracefully. Computational efficiency is critical for real-time radar systems. The naive approach recalculates the entire sum every time the window slides, this is order n complexity per cell. But there's a smarter way, recursive updating. When we slide one cell, we don't recalculate everything. We simply subtract the value leaving the window and add the value entering. Old sum minus vout plus vin equals new sum. This reduces complexity to constant time, order 1 per cell. This optimization enables real-time processing on millions of range cells per second. CFAR is mission-critical across multiple domains. In aviation, it separates aircraft from cloud and rain clutter, enabling air traffic control and weather radar. Maritime systems use CFAR to detect ships and periscopes against a background of ocean waves. Automotive radar in self-driving cars employs CFAR to identify vehicles and obstacles in complex urban environments. From commercial aviation to military defense to autonomous vehicles, one algorithm adapts to any environment. This universality makes CFAR indispensable. Let's recap what makes CFAR revolutionary. It adapts to local noise environments automatically, no manual tuning required. It maintains a constant false alarm rate regardless of changing conditions. It processes data in real time with computational efficiency. And it offers multiple variants optimized for different operational scenarios. CFAR represents the perfect marriage of statistical theory and practical engineering, an algorithm that finds signals in the noise, no matter where that noise comes from. This is adaptive detection at its finest.